Hi everyone, my name is Denisha Back-Moore and I'm with howcraftcollection.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create my Zen earrings. These earrings feature the new agate stones just added to howcraftcollection.com. We're also using aqua mix 6mm round Czech glass beads, 22 gauge antique brass wire. We're using a little bit of 24 gauge antique brass wire. You will need 2 chain nose pliers, wire cutters, and round nose pliers. A complete list of the jewelry making supplies and beads, along with printable PDF instructions, can be found on howcraftcollection.com. For demonstration purposes today, I'm going to be using this brown and green dyed eye design crackle agate stone tube. The bead used in the Zen earrings is a brown and green dyed hexagon design crackle agate. So we're going to start off using an antique brass beaded head pin, and you're going to cut about 6 inches of 24 gauge wire, and we are going to wrap the wire around the beaded head pin. Let's bring that back. We're going to grab our wire cutters, trim that end. Trim that end. We're going to move that down. The reason why I'm creating this little coil around the end is that a normal beaded head pin, the hole is too big, so it goes right through. So I didn't want to add a bead at the end of this. I wanted the beauty of these new agate stone tubes to stand by themselves. So I added the little coil so the bead doesn't slide through. Okay, and now we're gonna form a simple loop. We're gonna bend the wire down, and we're gonna look at it right about there. We're gonna trim the end, and then using our round nose pliers, we're just going to roll the wire towards us and form a simple loop. Now we're going to cut about 5 inches of 22 gauge antique brass wire. We're going to straighten that out. And then we are going to form a wrapped loop. We're going to bend the wire back. Move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend that wire back, and then we're going to straighten it out. And we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to trim that end. We're going to flatten our loop. And now we're going to string a green Czech glass 6mm, a green with a tortoiseshell finish, our dangle that we just created, a green with the tortoiseshell finish, and then a green Czech glass. And we're going to form another wrapped loop. We want to make sure we're forming our wrap loop this way. We want our loops lined up. I'm going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards us, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and I'm just coming in and I'm lining that up. Switching hands, we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Going to trim off that end. Coming in with our chain nose pliers, we're going to flatten out that loop, and then we're going to make a slight bend. Now we're going to make these little connector pieces right here. So we're going to cut about 2.5 to 3 inches. I like to cut my wire a little bit longer. I know some people like to save money by using the exact length, but I like to cut it a little bit longer because the wire wraps come out better when you do. So this is about 3 inches. You can cut 2.5 inches. And we are going to form a partial wrapped loop. Okay. And we're going to connect it. We connected it to the centerpiece. And then we're going to take our round nose pliers and we're just going to put it right there. And then using our chain nose pliers, sometimes you have to adjust a little bit. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. And we're going to cut that little end off. And we are going to string 1 aqua and 1 green. And then we're going to finish our wrapped loop. Let's make sure they're facing the same way. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, turn the pliers to the side, bend the wire back. We're going to line that up. And then we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to come back in with our wire cutters. We're going to trim that end. We're going to flatten out the loop. So there's our first side. Now we're going to form the second connector using 22 gauge wire. We are going to cut 2.5 to 3 inches of wire. And we're going to form our partial wrap loop. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back. And we are attaching it to the other side. And we're putting our pliers right there. And we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to trim off that little wire. And then we're going to string our Czech glass aqua. and our Czech glass with the tortoiseshell finish. We're making sure that our loops are going to go the same way. We're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards us, move the wire to the, or plier, sorry, to the side, bend the wire back, line it up. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. The wire cutters. We're going to come in and trim that end, and then we're going to flatten out our loop. Okay, so let's move that one out of the way. So now we got the centerpiece and the 2 connectors going upward. We're going to be creating this little connector right here right now. So we are going to cut 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches will be fine for this piece. And we're going to create a wrapped loop. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, switch hands, and we are wrapping 1, 2, 3. We're going to trim off that little end. We're going to flatten out our loop. And then we're going to string a green Czech glass bead. And we're going to create another wrapped loop. Bend the wire back. Move the pliers up. Bend the wire towards you. Move the pliers to the side. Bend the wire back. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Cut that little piece. We're going to flatten out our loop. And now we're going to make the connection. So we're going to pick up a 4mm jump ring. You always open a jump ring like this. You never pull it apart. So we're going to open that jump ring. We're going to pick this up, and we want to make sure it's laying this way. If you do it this way, it's going to come out wonky. So lay it that way. And then we're going to bring it up, and we're going to look and make sure that the loops look good. We're going to attach it like that. And then we're going to attach the top dangle. And we're going to close that jump ring. So our loop is facing the wrong way to attach the ear wire. This is an easy fix. You just take your round nose pliers and set it there. And then grab your chain nose pliers and you do a little twist. And now it's facing the correct way. So we can attach our ear wire. So you open up ear wires like a jump ring. So we open that. We attached it. And now we're closing the ear wire. So this is what the earring looks like without all the little dangles on it. Now we're going to create our little dangles using a beaded head pin. We're going to string our bead and we are going to create a wrapped loop. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and then we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. I love when I'm able to wrap like that. You need a really long piece of wire to wrap like that, so sometimes you waste a lot of wire when you wrap that way. And we're going to tap that down, and we're going to create 3 of those, so we have 2 more. Here's our aqua bead. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, adjust it, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Trim that end. And flatten out our loop. Last wrap, dangle. We're stringing our aqua bead. Bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're going to flatten out that loop, and there's our 3 dangles. We're going to create this simple loop connector right here. So we're going to use an eye pin. We're going to grab one of our tortoise shell Czech glass beads. And I'm going to bend the wire. I purposely bent the wire a different way so that we could straighten it back out again. So you have one more time of seeing how I did that. Trim the end. And then we're just going to roll the wire towards you. So they're facing the wrong way. So we're going to come in and twist. And now they're facing the same direction. So we're going to set that there. We're going to do one more. And I just used my nail, although my nails are a little thick. So when you have acrylic nails, you get more of a bend. If you have regular nails, it's a little bit more flush. So I'm going to trim that end. And then we are going to form a simple loop. We're just rolling the wire towards us. And then we're straightening it out. Now we're going to connect all of our dangles. So we're going to open the end loop, attach a dangle, close it. We're going to flip it around to the other side, open the loop, and we're just going to connect it and close that loop. We're going to open the loop, Connect the dangle, close the loop. We're going to come around and open that loop. And we're connecting it to the other side. And then we're closing that loop. So there are the two side dangles. Now we're going to attach our center dangle. So we're going to grab a jump ring. This one's already open. I'm going to show you once again how to open and close. We're going to grab our aqua dangle. And we're going to come in and attach it right between those two center wires. And then we're going to close that jump ring. And the earrings are completed. They look really beautiful. They have great movement. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please visit howcraftcollection.com for all your beading needs, and we'll see you next time.